As you know, the Department of Justice today has announced a critical legal step to hold accountable sanctuary cities that violate federal law and free criminal aliens back into our communities. We can't have that. We can't have it. It would be very easy to go the other way, but we can't have it. We want a safe country, and it's getting safer all the time. Sanctuary cities are the best friend of gangs and cartels like MS-13. You know that. The result in the death rate around sanctuary cities, in and around, for innocent Americans is unacceptable. Take a look at what happened in San Francisco and Kate Steinle and countless others. My administration is committed to protecting innocent Americans, and the mayors who choose to boycott this event have put the needs of criminal illegal immigrants over law-abiding Americans. But let me tell you, the vast majority of people showed up. Okay, the vast majority. Because the vast majority believe in safety for your city. I want to thank all of you for being here. I'm thrilled to welcome dozens of mayors from across the country to the White House. And I've worked with so many of you, some in the private sector. Who knew I was going to be here? But it happened, right? Kellyanne, my star Kellyanne. Stand up, Kellyanne. She's more famous than I am. Okay, thanks, Kellyanne. Great. You bring safety, prosperity, and hope to our citizens. My administration will always support local government and listen to leaders who know their communities best. And you know your community best. We believe in local government. We believe in empowering each and every one of you. Together we are achieving absolutely incredible results. We have created nearly 2.4 million jobs since the election. Nobody thought that was going to be happening. Right? The unemployment rate is at now an 18-year low. African American unemployment, I'm very proud of this. Remember I used to say, what do you have to lose? And people said, I don't know if that's a nice thing to say. I said, of course it is. For 100 years, the Democratic mayors have done they've done some bad work. I said, what did you have to lose? African American unemployment is at its lowest rate ever recorded. That's not bad. Unemployment for women is at its lowest rate in 17 years, and that's going to be a very new standard very soon. And Hispanic American unemployment, like African American unemployment, is at the lowest rate ever recorded. That's a long time. And here's the good news. It's getting better. It's going to get better. We've cut more regulations than any administration in history, by far. And we've been really doing the cutting for about 10 months, even though we've been here now for 12. We started a little bit late, although the first day we did some pretty big cutting, I will say. And as you know, just before Christmas, we passed massive tax cuts and reforms so that more businesses will come back to your cities and towns, and working families will finally get the pay raises that they've been waiting for many, many years in some cases. Our tax plan also creates opportunity zones. Some of you are taking advantage of that to encourage investment in distressed communities, create more jobs, and bring Main Street booming back to life. More than 2 million American workers have already received tax cut bonuses from their employers, all because of our incredible tax cut bill. And I must tell you, this has worked far greater, because nobody thought in terms of the companies coming out and paying $1,000 and $2,000 and $2,500 per employee. They have hundreds of thousands of employees in some cases. And the ones that aren't getting it are getting it because they're going, what about us? Now they're at a point, they're saying, what about us? We know that feeling. So it's really turned out. Nobody thought that. As much as we thought, and as much as we had a lot of brilliant minds around the tax bill, nobody really thought in terms of would a company step up. And it started, AT&T started it. And then a couple of others picked it up very quickly, Comcast and some others, they picked it up. And then it became an avalanche. And Kellyanne, we never used to talk about that because it wasn't really in the realm of thinking. And it's turned out to be really an avalanche, and it's been a beautiful thing to watch. People are walking away with $1,000 and $2,000 and much more. We're also working to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure by stimulating a $1 trillion investment, and that'll actually probably end up being about $1.7 trillion. Oh, you like that? I can tell we have mayors in the room. That's good. That's good. Only mayors could be that excited. Only the mayors and the workers. It's about jobs, right? Could be that excited. No, and we'll probably be putting that in a week or two right after the State of the Union address. We'll be talking about it a little bit in the State of the Union. We'll put that in. One of the other things I have to say, Apple, $350 billion investment. And I spoke to Tim Cook, and you probably heard me on the trail. I'll say I will not consider this job complete and great in terms of the economics and the economy unless Apple someday starts building some plants in our country. And what happened is they said $350 billion. And when I first heard it, Tim Cook and I spoke. But when I first heard it, I said, I guess they mean $350 million because that's a big plant. You know, $350 million, you can build a lot of plant. But they said, no, sir, $350 billion, and much of that comes from overseas. They're going to bring it back because of the tax bill, because we made it possible for them to bring it back. And they're investing a lot of money over and above that, so it's $350 billion and thousands of new jobs. They're going to build an incredible campus. It's going to be something special. But we work with Congress to cut down the approval and permitting process so that it takes no longer than 2 years, instead of, on average, 10 to 12 to 17 years to build a simple road. A road in a certain location, I won't mention the state, although I happen to like the state very much. It's been under approval for 17 years. They've been planning it for 17 years, and it was a straight, nothing road. Now it's got lots of curves because we have to miss the nests and everything else. And curbs aren't good on roads. You know, roads are like straight. And it was 17 years ago going to cost virtually nothing, and it ends up being hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was recently completed, and everyone goes, you have to be kidding. So we're going to bring that 10-year process. That's an average. I think it's actually much higher than that. We're going to bring that down to, we say less than 2 years, but I'd like to be able to average about 1 year. And you'll let them know. If we don't want a highway, if we don't want something built, you're going to let them know quickly. But at least they won't be waiting 17, because a lot of times you'll wait 17 years and you'll get rejected. That's even worse. If you're the builder, that's not good. You devoted a good part of your life to doing something and get rejected. That's really unfair. So you may get rejected, but you're going to get rejected quickly. Okay? That's not bad. But mostly you're going to get, you saw what we did with the pipelines, 48,000 jobs. Immediately, as soon as I came to the office, we approved it, 48,000 jobs. We're partnering with the state and local governments like yours to find the most innovative ways to rebuild our roads, bridges, waterways, and airports. Very important words, on time and under budget. Have you heard those words before? You don't hear them too much in government, right? And a lot of that's the bidding process, and you'll take care of your bidding processes. But the bidding process is a very big factor in that. Some of the way they bid in cities and states, and I can tell you in our military, I mean, the process, it's not even bidding, really. You give somebody a contract to steal, and we don't want to do that. We're supporting our local police beyond what we've ever done. Great. And fire departments.